Almost every day, there are more and more court cases involving voter fraud and the mishandling of votes in the news. At the same time, in state after state, the news tells us that state legislatures are passing new laws to curb voter fraud and manipulation. We hear also that the federal government is considering a law federalizing a standard of voting for the entire nation. On one hand, this is welcome news, since it means that more and more people are becoming aware of serious problems at the polls, and they want answers and solutions. To begin with, there are so-called solutions that will make matters worse. Right off, there should not be a federal voting standard. The reason for this is many-faceted, which I will cover shortly, but let's start off by saying that we are a federated republic, not a national government or a democracy. If one side or another gains control of all branches of the federal government, the opportunity for fraud favoring that side without remedy is too great. The Constitution is the law of the land, and it has something to say about how people vote. It is up to the state legislatures to determine, not the Congress, not the president, not the governors, and certainly not the state's attorney general. Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution states this: "Each state shall appoint, in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled." In other words, state legislatures determine how electors will be appointed, who then vote for president. How do they determine that? By voting for them. Many may assume that all states have the same voting laws, but this is far from reality. For instance, states vary in ballot access, voter registration, even vote counting. Signature matching laws vary. Most states require it, but some do not monitor it as a regular practice. So how the state voting laws are determined is by the state legislatures, not the federal government or any other portion of the state government. We know this law was violated by several states in 2020 by those other than the legislatures, such as governors, attorneys general, etc. However, the legislatures did virtually nothing to rectify the problem. This is especially true in states with Republican-controlled state legislatures. Are legislators in those states that are that uneducated about their role in government? Or should we be questioning what or who really controls the Republicans? Much has been bandied about concerning the use of computerized voting. Guilty or not guilty, computers can be programmed to make certain candidates win or lose. This has been an ongoing problem since computers have come online in American elections since the early 1970s. There used to be videos online of computer experts testifying that this is the case from over 15 years ago. Not enough people cared or saw these videos. Even if there's no problem today, the potential for problems exists. We have noticed as well that some of the proposed laws in state after state will not really solve the problems with voter fraud. Controversy reigns over whether the new voter ID laws actually cut down on people voting more than once or legally. Voter fraud will always exist as long as dishonest men gravitate into politics. So what is the solution? The John Birch Society has some suggestions under the heading of Restore Election Integrity. We have several suggestions for legislators to follow to restore integrity. Let's just name a few. First of all, use paper, not machines or computers. Paper leaves a trail, and it can be fairly counted more than once if necessary. It may be a bit old-fashioned, but it can't be beat for making sure of the vote. Second, use voter ID. To say that this is racist or eliminating certain people from voting, it only eliminates non-citizens and multi-voting by the same person. To say that some people do not have ID is ridiculous. You need a driver's license to drive a car, state ID or some other form of ID to ride on an airplane, buy liquor, open a bank account or credit card, even check into a hospital, and a lot more. It's almost impossible to function today without an ID. Third, repeal laws that loosen restrictions on how people vote, such as drop boxes and no-excuse absentee ballots. There are several other matters involved in cleaning up voting laws, and these can be seen at jbs.org action projects. While other people complain, let us take the opportunity to pressure our legislators to do the right thing when it comes to voting procedures. Too many of them do not realize the power they have to rectify voting problems if they will simply do so.